Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ISCA Tucson Sound Art Cup and Super Cup series here as we tackle the O'Reilly Auto Parts 106 at the Indianapolis Road Course. We saw a very exciting race on Thursday. Definitely a huge field there. Saw a lot of action-packed racing. Hopefully tonight will be no different here. As of course, as always, I'm joined in a big booth by Mr. Big Al. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, doing pretty good there, Brian. Excited about being here at Indy. Wish the field was a little bit bigger, but hey, you called the race you got, not the race you want, right?
100%. I definitely wish it probably was a little bit bigger, but we definitely going to bring you the coverage no matter what here tonight. As definitely big shout out to O'Reilly Auto Parts for being on board here for tonight's race. Also, Tucson Sound Art for being our title sponsor for the series, and definitely going to be an exciting one. I mean, I think that we still are going to have ourselves a nice race. We are right now in the middle of qualifying.
Yeah, and that 62 of Chris Severa is definitely going to be the car to watch here tonight as he was putting down some blistering times there during practice. Also, going to be on the lookout for Kimberly LeBron as well as Jose Acosta. I do believe those are going to be the three that we're going to be watching, but I think Chris Severa is probably going to be my vote here for winning this one tonight, Brian.
I could definitely see where you're coming from there, but when I was watching him in practice, did not seem like he had the stability as much there. Saw him spin out in one of the corners, so you just gonna have to keep an eye on that to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. I mean, he is always very quick, but he sometimes does bring kind of trips over himself. Hopefully that's not going to be the case here tonight. He's right there out there qualifying right now, as you can see, weaving back and forth, trying to get the heat in those tires. And I think that's going to be one of the big stories of the night's race is getting heat in the tires. Seems to be really a hard thing to do. We saw that a lot on Thursday where guys were having to weave back and forth. And it took like 2 or 3 laps to even get the temperatures up to where you can actually feel like the car would stick in a corner.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing exactly what he's got to do, and you're right. I don't think many folks are going to be changing tires tonight. I think it's going to be more of a fuel strategy, as we did actually get to see Derek Heitman exercise probably one of the most clever fuel pit strategies that we've seen all season. Is I think he short pitted it. So, be interested to see if anybody takes a page out of his playbook tonight and does the same thing.
Oh yeah, no, that is one thing I'm gonna be looking forward to because I mean, if you're able to do that, I think that could be, and if you have the pace, that could definitely win you the race. So, I think Jose Acosta definitely gonna be one to watch if he pulls something like that out and gets in front of Chris Severa or something like that, or could see something like that shake out. Of course, race facts here for tonight. This is, of course, the Tucson Sound Art Saturday Cup and Super Cup series. So we appreciate anybody spending time with us here on this Saturday night. Could be doing anything else, but we appreciate you tuning in here to the O'Reilly Parts 106 here at Indy Road. 41 laps here on the docket for tonight's race, stages 9, 18. Of course, the race going to be concluding on lap 41 going to 42. 5 tire sets. 4 actually going to be in the pits, and like you said, probably not going to be very useful here tonight. We didn't see a lot of tire changes on Thursday. Of course, fuel window is 25 laps, so just keep that in mind that we're probably not going to see really any actual green flag pit stops just because 18 to 41, I mean, that is well within the fuel window.
Yeah, absolutely. But the drivers are definitely going to have to make certain that they do pit properly. I do believe we did see one driver disqualified from Thursday night's competition as a little bit of a fault on pit road. So just because it is a smaller field, though, it's just going to make it's just going to make sort of put a microscope on everything that everybody does. If you have a bigger field, it's a lot easier to get kind of lost in the shuffle. But with only 8 cars, I think we're pretty much going to be all over this field tonight.
Yeah, for sure, and I definitely think we'll see it probably get a little bit more spread out than we did on Thursday. Definitely a lot of, I think, a tier system almost here tonight. Some guys maybe not as good as they could be, but then again, some guys have actually improved quite a bit. I noticed that Thursday night Kenny Powell was much different than what I think this Saturday night Kenny Powell is going to be. Because I mean, just talking to him even yesterday, we saw his lap times on Thursday were like a minute 31. Now I think he's gotten it down to a minute 30. So could we even see more improvement as this race goes on? Definitely could be the case, as we still have a little over 5 minutes here left in qualifying. Let's take a look at the point standings here for this series. Looking at the Cup Series standings, which of course is a 13-week schedule, Brian Johnson right now finds himself in the lead. Don't see him in the race here tonight, though, unfortunately. He has a 1 win, 4 top fives. Kenny Powell, he's sitting in second place with 2 wins. So he's definitely going to be able to capitalize on the point situation if Brian Johnson does not make the grid here tonight. But Jose Acosta sitting right now third place. Chris Severa, he's got 2 wins sitting in fourth. Gary Adamson, 5th place. 6th place, Greg Wachinski. 7th place, Robert Pattengale. 8th place, Darren Mullins. 9th place, Paul Olson. And 10th place, Ryan Strunk. So all the guys that are not on this list, or that are on this list that are not out there on the track, they are going to suffer immensely from this. And the guys that are here, they're going to be loving it. And I mean, because no matter where they finish, they're going to get points over those guys, Big Al.
Yeah, that's definitely going to prove to be in the favor of Strunk, Pattengale, and Olsen. I believe they will be the biggest movers on that chart. But, let's see what the other chart looks like.
100%. The Super Cup point standings here. Chris Severa has 7 wins, the most out of everybody here at the top of the board. Kenny Powell sitting with 3 wins, second place. Third place, Eric Kling. Haven't seen him in actually a little bit here. A couple weeks we haven't seen Kling make it to this Saturday night series. Fourth place, Jose Acosta. Fifth place, Josh Schaffner. Sixth place, Brian Johnson. Seventh place, Greg Wachinski. Ryan Strunk sitting in 8th. Gary Adamson 9th. Robert Pattengale sitting in 10th. So once again, there's some names on there that are not here that are going to suffer very much so. I mean, I know Josh Schaffner, I do believe he's actually on a traveling right now. So definitely can't wait for him to get back. Definitely, I know we have a big surprise for next week. Not going to spoil that, but I can't wait to see that.
You can't help yourself, can you?
Well, I didn't say anything. I just want to hype up the audience out there. We're going to have some surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. We need all of the good news we can get here. As Chris Severa looks like he is going to take the pole here, and that's going to be, awesome. That's going to put him out front.
Yeah, surprised we're not seeing a whole lot of qualifiers right now. I mean, only 4 so far, and very high range in time. And look at Severa's best lap there, minute 28.574. That's a lot like what we saw on Thursday. So very quick time there from him. Loving what I'm seeing there. He is, I do believe, over a second faster than everybody else right now.
Yeah, but look at Kenny Powell actually putting down the second fastest time here. So I tell you what, at a minimum, if a couple of guys can keep their noses clean, they will definitely come home in a pretty good position here points wise. Because think about it like this: everybody's going to get stage points, and everybody's going to get high points at the end of the race. It's just a matter of you can keep your nose clean and kind of stay off the highlight reel, right?
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be the key here because, like you said, there's going to be a lot of eyes on you, considering there's only 8 drivers here in the race here tonight, and definitely understand it. This is a very intimidating racetrack, to say the least. And very flat. A lot of difficult portions of this track to get the power down. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, definitely a lot of turtles that if you attack them too hard could send you into the grass. And also like you mentioned, I mean, there are some parts where you could end up getting a penalty. I mean, we saw a lot of that on Thursday. Could even see that here tonight. We'll have to wait and see, though. I mean, I know that that some of the course is even hard to know where to go. Just, I mean, that's what I'm echoing a lot of the drivers' sentiments that we've heard. But I'm assuming that everybody out here right now actually I think they all raced pretty much on Thursday. I don't believe we saw Ryan Strunk, but I think everybody else was here Thursday. So they're gonna pretty much know exactly what they need to do here. So shouldn't see too many problems like that. Qualifying, of course, is in the midst of wrapping up. Just a little bit over a minute here left as we get ready to tackle this. Definitely a difficult race. Can't wait to see what happens next week, though. I know Michigan going to be on the docket. That's going to be a fan favorite excitement fair right there. Because I mean, still a little unknown on how that's even going to handle. Is it going to be pretty much flat out? I mean, I know that no restrictor plates there at Michigan, so I think that one's going to be a crazy one.
Yeah, it'll be flat out for a little while, but turn four is going to be turn four regardless. The fact that this is a road course has kind of scared a lot of folks away, because that whole concept of turning left and right, it's kind of foreign to a lot of NASCAR drivers. But I personally have enjoyed this track here this week. What about yourself?
Well, I mean, I've been one of the ones that kind of haven't really touched it very much, but I mean, definitely been hearing a lot of good things about it. I mean, guys loving this racetrack, and just it definitely love to see it when people tackle the challenge. But let's go ahead and take a step away, pay some attention here to our nation's national anthem. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the grid. It is set. Chris Severa going to be grabbing the pole here with Kenny Powell on the outside pole. Robert Pattengale going to be starting in third place. Frank Flores in fourth. Fifth place going to belong to Kendall LeVron. Jose Acosta going to be in sixth place. Ryan Strunk in seventh. Paul Olson's going to be lining up eighth. And that concludes our 8-car field here for tonight's event. Definitely excited to see what these guys have in store for us here tonight as we get ready to get this thing underway. Of course, everybody's still sitting there right now. The Porsche has not left the grid, but we will be doing that any moment now. Looking forward to it.
Well, this race definitely should fly by because, like, there's no overall cautions period. So cautions are only going to be local cautions to whatever turn there are. This track is racing as a flat track, so a lot of drivers have expressed their discontent with that fact. Just makes it a little bit more interesting, I think. Uh, but I think this is a lot better skinned than the track that we saw last year.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, I actually have. I think this has definitely grown on me. Of course, not as a driver, but as a broadcaster. I've enjoyed watching. The race on Thursday was definitely very exciting. I have no doubts we're still going to get some excitement here tonight. I mean, just considering it's all down to how many mistakes you make and limiting those mistakes and making sure those mistakes are not huge. Because, I mean, that could definitely change the course of the race here. Luckily, these guys do have, as we mentioned before, stage breaks, 9 and 18, which will give these guys a chance to kind of right the ship if something does go wrong. Of course, these guys don't have a fast repair or anything like that to speak of, so if they do incur damage, they're going to have to fix it the old-fashioned way. But one thing about it, I mean, good thing about it is, this being such a large track, under those caution laps, you're going to be able to get a lot of damage repaired. But one thing about it too, Big Al, though, the longer you stay on pit road, even though you might not go a lap down, it's going to be that much harder to catch back up to the field. You're going to be having to turn qualifying laps to get up there.
Yeah, I think so. The key is to make good decisions often, especially early on. You don't want to get yourself in a position where you actually beating your car up. Looks like Chris Johnson just joined the back of the field there, so that's going to give us 9 cars here as we get ready to roll off. As the pace car should be leading the field off, but the key is you're just going to have to be available because, like we said, no matter what, Brian, you're still getting stage points right now. So the only thing you can do right now is take yourself out of the race. If you're just smart and patient, I think you might have yourself a pretty good payday here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're definitely going to be looking to get some good points from the guys that didn't show up here. I mean, I would not be surprised to see, especially in the Cup standings, Kenny Powell could even possibly take the points lead here. I mean, you did say Chris Johnson has made the field. I do see him now. Definitely glad to see him out there with us. Going to add it up, a little bit, ratchet up the energy a little bit. I know Chris Johnson, I think, raced on Thursday and was pretty good. We'll have to see how he does here tonight. I mean, definitely, like I said, I mean, the guys that raced on Thursday have a distinct advantage, and definitely we could see totally different drivers, whether they change their setups, really, put the time in to adjust on them. Could definitely see a whole different story here tonight. I mean, especially, you never know what could happen. I mean, we saw multiple different leaders on Thursday. Could we see that here tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We're just going to have to let that one play out. But the more laps you turn through the week, the faster you should get. Now, this being Saturday night, the majority of these guys hopefully have had ample time to actually hone their skills around this track, and that's going to show based on their consistency in their lap times. Because I'm going to tell you, I ran a race today, and my fastest lap was lap 19 on those tires. So these guys are going to have to pull a strategy out, and that's what we're going to be waiting to see is the pace car is down and away, and here we get ready to go, Brian.
Yep, the green flag out in the air right now. Almost wish they'd do a standing start for these guys here, but Chris Rivera getting a heck of a launch there. Kenny Powell going to try to stick there with him. We'll have to see how long this lasts here, as they are definitely fanning out here going into turn one.
Yeah, it looks like Kendall LeBron might have made a little incidental contact with the 33 of Robert Pattengale. Sorry, the 17 of Robert Pattengale. Looks like it looks like Ryan Strunk is actually off the race surface. He was actually having a hard time with practice as well, so I think he found himself over in the gravel bed.
Yeah, it does believe something definitely must have went wrong there, or oh, there goes Jose Acosta sideways in the middle of the field. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, definitely. But, the cool part about it is all these guys got to do is just kind of slowly collect themselves and just try to don't get caught up in that moment. It's a road course, man. You just got to get back in that rhythm. You got to shake it off. And that's exactly what the crew chief and the spotters are going to be telling these guys. Here comes Chris Johnson around the 7 of Frank Flores.
Yeah, definitely Chris Johnson trying to get around Frank Flores, able to do that.
Yeah, looks like Robert Pattengale kind of totally blew that turn, so that's going to cost Tim a little bit of places as he now drops back into P6.
And we see Chris Rivera out to a commanding lead right now. I do believe over 6 seconds right now already. So definitely having a great launch for him as he runs away with it.
Yeah, but look who is running right up there with him is Christy Johnson, who actually started all the way in the rear, who actually didn't even turn any practice laps, is now being shown in P2. So, that should show you exactly what he came to do here today.
Oh, he definitely came to put on a good performance, and looks like he's doing exactly that as he managed to get around Kenny Powell. So Powell must have had an issue at the same time that Jose Acosta did. I wasn't really able to get eyes on that.
Well, Powell right now is definitely trying to get around the 7 of Frank Flores. He is showing him the bumper every time he can get a chance. So I don't think it'll take him long. There he goes, just like that. Powell's going to move back up into P3. But Frank Flores has definitely got to be feeling pretty good about his performance here tonight. He is actually running up into 7th place, and then Powell loses it again just like that. And that's going to allow Flores to advance right back by him. Not sure what's going on with Powell, but we say these tires got to get warmed up here. But we're only on lap 3, so I think they just hadn't got to that operating temperature they need to be at yet.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we're going to take a really quick step away, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with the rest of the race in action.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings, plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Tucson Sound Art, iRacing, of course, and definitely O'Reilly Auto Parts there. Chris Severa still out in front, has over 18 seconds of a lead. He is just putting it on these guys here.
Back from a little bit of a that he had earlier that actually found him a little bit off the pace, but now seems to got his legs back underneath him, Brian, and he is definitely on a mission.
Very much so. I know while we were away on our break there, I think Kenny Powell actually had some misgivings there off the track a couple times. Now back to 8th place. He started 2nd, so that is a lot to lose here. Luckily, these guys do have a stage break coming up here to save them, but definitely, probably, I would put that on maybe the tires not getting up to temperature.
Yeah, Kenny has been kind of all over the place there for most of the race. It's just it's one of those products of what it is.
Yeah, definitely sometimes can be the case. Of course, he's trying to rebound right now. We mentioned Ryan Strunk. Looks like he's back out on the racetrack, and him and Kenny actually battling right now as we speak. For right now, it looks like the battling is still going on. These guys are pretty close to one another. I see Kendall LeBron not too far back there from Robert Pattengale, trying to catch each other here. Jose Acosta doing fairly well right now. I do believe he's sitting up there in 3rd. But definitely some interesting driving going on here from these guys. Love that they're willing to tackle such a difficult racetrack such as this. But I'm of the mind, I almost kind of feel like tradition is tradition. I'd love to see the oval back in the rotation here. Pattengale goes really wide on the exit.
Yeah, Pattengale's actually going to be doing everything he can to kind of reel in that teammate of his, Frank Flores. Pattengale's actually been running pretty good here. Now, he did kind of have a little bit of an himself, but now he is definitely seems to be back on pace and is going to be trying to battle Flores for what's going to be 4th position. But right there behind him is Kendall LeBron. Kendall went a little bit, he went doing a little bit of weed eating, I guess you would call it, a couple of laps back. But he has since got the grass out of that pony, and now he's back on pace as well.
Yeah, definitely don't want to get into that grass. But luckily, I mean, I'd much rather go into the grass than into a wall, that's for sure. A lot of difficult, tricky portions of this track that you're going to see a lot of guys struggle with, especially locking up the tires. You definitely don't want to do that, but I do believe this time I think the white flag is going to be coming out here for the stage. So stage 2 or stage 1 soon to be in the books here. And Chris Severa just utterly dominating right now, out to over 25 seconds it does appear.
Yeah, absolutely. But the first stage is just the first stage. Now these guys kind of got an idea of what to expect. They should have the jitters out of their system. But one thing too, Brian, this track is very forgiving. I mean, these guys have actually, a lot of guys have been off the course, but they haven't actually run into anything of substantial structure that's caused a lot of damage to their car. So a lot of these guys should be thanking the track gods for that. So they can actually go back and regroup here, come out and start the stage 2 strong. Be interested to see if anybody does like to pit there at stage 2.
And Kendall LeBron still trying to catch up there to Robert Pattengale. Of course, LeBron sitting at 6th, Pattengale sitting right now in 5th. So it's kind of a little bit of a 3-car battle going on here, 4th, 5th, and 6th place. As we see Flores doing very well here tonight. Been loving what I'm seeing from that 7. Nothing wrong with getting yourself a podium right now, especially stage point's going to be very key here.
Yeah, absolutely. In one of the things about road racing this does allow us to see the kind of ladder get kind of flipped upside down. I guess you'd say we get to see some names usually up top that we don't usually get a chance to. So kudos to all these guys coming out here tonight racing, because it's definitely going to pay off for them as far as points go.
We see Kendall LeBron tried to go make a pass there on Pattengale, but just was not able to get past him. Very difficult to pass here. I think we heard somebody on Thursday kind of say, you know, that you have to really wait for that person in front of you to make a mistake. I mean, that's really the only thing you could really do. Unless you just have a lot of confidence with your race car, which I know, knowing me, I wouldn't have a lot of confidence out on this track myself.
Yeah, I totally understand that. As I do believe we're waiting on Paul Olsen across the line.
Oh, and Jose Acosta almost misses the corner. He definitely didn't take that the way he probably should have. But yeah, Paul Olsen still has not crossed the line here. Luckily, a stage break is coming for him. Otherwise, I do believe he would find himself a lap down fairly quickly. Yellow flag is out in the air. That is going to complete stage number 1. Chris Rivera, of course, out to 31 seconds right now in the lead. Chris Johnson, second place. Jose Acosta's in third. Fourth place, Frank Flores. Fifth place, Robert Pattengale. Sixth place, Kendall LeBron. Seventh place, Ryan Strunk. Eighth place, Kenny Powell. And ninth place, Paul Olsen. So everybody probably, some guys might skip this stop. Some guys might come down after what we saw from Derek Heitman on Thursday. This is going to be really interesting to see what the decision is going to be.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a no-brainer. You come down pit road, you get as much gas as you can, because we saw exactly what Derek Heitman did. He came down, he risked track position because obviously he was on pit road, but nobody really paid attention to what he was doing. Now the guys know it. I don't see why you don't pull a play out of that book.
Yeah, but one thing about it, now that everybody knows what he did, everybody's going to do it. So it kind of takes it away. I mean, it's like he gave the secret away, and we'll have to wait and see if anybody does that same thing here as we wait for everybody to make their way, if they do go down pit road. And if they don't, then we will go ahead and dial up Mr. Chris Rivera, our stage 1 winner. Let's go ahead and take another quick step away, and we'll be right back, hopefully with him.
It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings, plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like everybody is making their way down pit road. Kind of an interesting decision here. Probably going to top up on gas here. I would not expect anybody to be taking tires, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, looks like Jose Acosta is taking tires. Interesting decision there for him. I do believe he's the only one from what I'm seeing here, and he's
Yeah,
taking 4 tires. Somebody missed their
Yep.
box. Ryan Strunk.
Yeah, and Brian Johnson also. Sorry, Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson actually missed his box, went forward, backed up, went forward. So that's going to cost him a ton of positions. But obviously, he is no stranger to driving through the field. I think we're getting ready to try to dial up our Stage 1 winner, Chris Sabera.
Alrighty, Big Al. I do believe we'll let you handle this interview if you don't mind.
Hey, Mr. Severa, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
So, how's it going down there today?
I mean, it's going. We're out for a nice little Saturday cruise at the moment. Pretty happy with the car. Pretty happy with the lap time. So we're sitting pretty.
Yeah, I definitely kind of get that vibe. Looks like there's really nothing that's kind of slowing you down. Definitely looks like you got a good feeling on that Fanatec Ford, man. So how many laps did you actually put in before you got that thing to where you wanted it?
We really just ran one of the races yesterday. Just kind of like figure out the track and where you can cut and where you really can't. It's all about like using every bit of track that's like available here, like this corner down here. Really straighten off this exit and cut up a lot of time there. But yeah, no, it's going, man.
So what do you think of this track overall? Do you like this track? I know a lot of people don't like it because it's kind of flat. Where are you at on it? Is it kind of a fave, or is this going to be a thumbs down for you?
Yeah, the only thing flatter than this is my ex-girlfriend, but other than that, it makes it a little difficult. But other than that, it does make it difficult coming out of the corners to put the power down. You don't have the track there to lean on and support you. So, I mean, it's different.
I said different would definitely be a word. Well, I'm not going to talk to you too much because I'm sure we're going to get to talk to you again before this thing is over. But is there anybody would like to give a mini shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Gas and Go and Tucson Sound Art for sponsoring the series. And you guys, as always, for up in the booth. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, sir, and good luck.
Thank you.
That was Chris Severa, our Stage 1 winner. Definitely glad to be able to hear him. Like you said, I think we'll be hearing from him a little bit later. Definitely excited to see what Stage 2 brings for us here as we get ready to go. I do believe the pace car lights are out. Definitely excited to see what anybody can do here. We saw some mistakes abound there in Stage 1. Have these guys figured out the remedy for that, whether that be making an adjustment and maybe tighten the car up? We really haven't even talked about what the conditions of the track are out there, Big Al.
Yeah, right now, Brian, the track temperature is going to be sitting at about 160 degrees Fahrenheit with the winds out of the southwest at 3 miles an hour. Outside ambient air temperature, somebody punched me in the face. It's going to be 69 degrees. Oh, Molasses Mouth up here doing the best he can.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a little bit different than what we saw on Thursday. So that could be also causing some issues for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, but now these guys have definitely got enough laps under their belt. Everybody kind of did the same pit strategy. A lot of guys kind of had their hands full in that first stage. We saw way more than just 2 or 3 guys actually experiencing the woes, if you will. So the key is going to be now they're going to just have to get their head back in the game and just kind of keep that car intact and try to keep it out of those solid structures, if you will.
Yeah, so far I don't see a lot of damage out there on these race cars, so looks like they've successfully done that so far. But we definitely have seen some guys go through the grass, and luckily, a lot of times when you're in the real world, you go through the grass, that can really tear your car up. Luckily, I don't think that's been the case so far for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, definitely, and It's going to be a drag race. Everybody knows that going down to turn one. I think I talked to Christopher earlier this week, and he said, that's just pretty much a straight shot and then a right turn. So hopefully everybody can get that right turn correct this time, and we won't have anybody cannonball. We made it through pretty incident free on the first iteration. I don't see what it would be any reason why it would not be the same on the second.
Well, here we go. We're getting ready to find out here. Is everybody going to be filing here? Soon to be hitting the front stretch to get that green flag back out in the air. And we saw a lot of fanning out on that first corner. Definitely, I think we might see the same thing here for sure. We'll have to wait and see. Definitely, Jose Acosta going to be trying his best. See what he could do against Chris Severa here. As the green flag soon to be out in the air. Pace car is making its way down pit road. And I think these guys are lucky they don't have to do a green flag pit stop here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Jose Acosta definitely not one to kind of, well, looks like not wasting any time getting the party started. That is definitely going to spread the field out.
Very much so. He did not waste any time whatsoever.
Which is totally legal under road course rules. So Severa doing what he needs to do to get it done. One way he will be trying to get some heat up in those tires is definitely by putting it to it.
Kenny Powell, all out of sorts, loses it right there in that turn 2, I do believe, area.
And Severa is loose and fast. As he is literally drifting that Fanatec forward around the turns.
And surprise, we saw, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was someone took tires there. Ryan Strunk. I mean, he doesn't look like he's doing too terribly bad right now, even though he took tires. I mean, that would, in my opinion, I thought that was going to be something that you wouldn't want to do, but he's actually managing to hold his own here, even on the tires.
Yeah, Jose Acosta also took tires there under that pit stop as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jose Acosta doing fairly well, keeping it not too far of a distance there on Chris Severa.
Yeah, looks like Ryan Strunk is going to be coming right up to Kimmel LeBron. These two are going to be battling for 5th place. LeBron actually able to hold him off so far, but he's got Kenny Powell coming right up. Strunk's got Kenny Powell coming right up on his 6. Powell going to come down the outside. It is going to be a drag race.
Frank Flores has lost a lot of positions here. I do believe he's going to be back in 8th place now. He was doing fairly well earlier. Hopefully he's going to be able to work his way forward as Kenny Powell tries to dive on the inside of Ryan Strunk. Not able to get there, but he's right on the bumper.
Yeah, Powell jacking up just a little bit, getting a little bit of incidental contact there between that 24 and the 77.
Now, this is going to be a heck of a battle here. Both of those guys, I think, have some similar pace between one another here as we're on lap 12. Remember, next stage will be on lap, I do believe, 18.
Powell's definitely trying to outbreak the 77.
Oh, contact.
Yeah, the 77 definitely not letting them by. These two are fighting like brothers and sisters here, trying to get by. Powell definitely trying to get by the 77, but the 77 doing everything in his power to keep the pass from happening.
Yeah, definitely is, and we're seeing even some battling a little bit further forward. We see Chris Johnson there. He's got Kendall LeBron pretty close in hand. Also, Robert Pattengill kind of also right there in the mix.
I think Powell's just getting really frustrated by having to be behind the 77 because obviously he feels like he's faster. He wants to get around him, but just not being able to pull the pass off. And now he finds himself falling back just a little bit further behind, and that's just going to make it even more complicated for him to try to get around the 77 to Ryan Strunk.
And this is not the time to be getting frustrated this early in the race. I mean, that's just that could very much cause even worse woes, in your performance here. So hopefully Kenny Powell can kind of gather it back up and, get back into the right frame of mind.
Speaking of the right frame of mind, the 28 of Kendall LeBron slipped right on by the 17 of Robert Pattengill. That's going to put Kendall LeBron back up to 4th place now. He saw himself all the way up into the top 5 earlier in the first stage, but a couple of mistakes there. I guess I say he went weed eating, caused him to fall back.
They
But
ought to
now
pay him for that. I actually knew a guy that actually works here at Indianapolis that handles a lot of the kind of the maintenance for the grass out here.
yeah, I didn't know these ponies ran on grass, but he definitely fed some to his, right?
That he did. That he did. His pony's not hungry anymore. As Ryan Strunk actually catches up to the back of Robert Pattengale here.
I think Pattengale's just going to take it easy. I don't see him getting out here trying to race too hard. I think he's just going to try to keep himself in the conversation because he has had some pretty bad luck, Brian, if you can recall. Usually getting taken out at somewhere towards the end of the race. So hopefully he'll actually be able to keep that 17 Tucson Sound Art Ford clean and green here, and maybe get himself some dough here tonight.
I think either way he's going to find himself with some points that he didn't have before, just considering all the guys that missed out on this exciting race here. So definitely going to be a win-win for him. I think whatever positions he comes home with, he's going to be pretty happy. As Strunk gets really close, like you said, Pattengale not really going to fight him. He looks like he kind of let him go there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think Kenny Powell saw exactly what just took place, and he's going to try to do the same thing. Now, Pattengale's going to have to get aggressive at some point, though, because he's not want to just give up all of these positions. But, yep, Powell's going to go right by on the inside, and that's going to move Powell up to 6th place.
You know what that also does is reignites a battle that we watched a little bit earlier, Ryan Strunk and Kenny Powell.
Indeed it does, and now that battle's getting ready to go right on as Ryan Strunk finds himself over in the grass. That's going to allow Powell to slide on by. Now he's got 5th place all by he lonesome, and now he's going to be trying to catch up with Kendall LeBron.
I do believe I just saw the hints of Jose Acosta going in the grass there, so I have to keep an eye on him here as Chris Johnson's going to try to take advantage of that. But I'll tell you what, Kendall LeBron been showing a lot of pace right now, catching up to the back of Chris Johnson. This could be, a battle for 3rd here, kind of waiting to be unleashed.
Yeah, and Ryan Strunk, just like that, I mean, he went all the way from being up in the 5th place to now he is fell all the way back to 7th place with Paul Osman right up on him, battling for position as well, just because he got a little bit out of sorts and ended up in the grass.
That he did. I mean, probably saw that blue machine coming up behind him. He was like, wait a second, I've dealt with this guy before.
Yeah, Chris Johnson now back up to 3rd place, and he is actually doing it to it. Now, it was interesting that everybody actually did do exactly what we only had one car out of a 28-car field do on Thursday, and that was actually fill up. So now the test of time is going to be just how fast these guys are actually able to get in and off of pit road under this next caution lap or stage break.
Yeah, definitely going to be curious. Oh, someone locking it up there in front. There goes Jose Acosta sliding through the grass, and he's going to come right back onto the track. Oh, no, he thinks better of it. That could have been a dangerous situation there for those other drivers. That's going to give Chris Johnson 2nd place. Kendall LeBron right now side by side with Jose Acosta.
Yeah, and that's going to put LeBron up in the 3rd place. Acosta definitely did not want to yield that position because I think he understands just how hard it is to make that up, but expect for him to drag race and possibly try to outbreak LeBron as they come into turn 1 to try to get the best of the position. LeBron sees it, doesn't seem to really fight it, and there it is. Jose Acosta moves right back up to P3.
Yeah, I think LeBron knows that we could end up seeing Jose make another mistake. Want to also mention Robert Pattengale. He has made it past Kenny Powell. So I think, Robert Pattengale, no wonder he was willing to let these guys go because he was like, no, it's okay. We'll see you make a mistake later. I'll get by you. Chris Severa now out to almost 20 seconds of a lead. I mean, he is just a veritable rocket ship here tonight.
Yeah, indeed he is. And really, like you said, he's just really out on a stroll at this point because there's really nobody let's just be honest, there's really nobody that's even on the same field as he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, Definitely looks like his lap times, looks like almost even 2 seconds faster than everybody else right now, as he is just, like you said, just driving away, having himself a nice, drive here, enjoying the sights of Indianapolis. And there are some sights to see, as you can see even the Indianapolis skyline in the distance over there.
Yeah, definitely making it look just a little bit too easy, but it's still we still got a lot of racing left to do, and we still do have to pit. And I think that's going to be a lot of guys' opportunity to try to gain positions because, some of these guys might take tires, some of them might not take tires. That's what we'll be waiting to see. It looks like the pits are closed, and looks like we're getting ready to be wrapping stage 2 up here momentarily, Brian.
Yeah, that we are. And it looks like Chris Rivera going to sweep him. We'll have to wait and see if he makes any mistakes or anything like that. But I do believe we're definitely getting close to the end of that stage. And that's when the race is truly going to begin. Because, you can make mistakes in these stages and be able to rebound from them. But when you make a mistake during that last one, there is no saving you.
Yeah, absolutely. That is truer words have never been spoken, Brian. So the drivers definitely got to get the jitters out of their system through the first 2 stages, so that way they will be actually coming to the field of race here in stage 3, because that's where the real points are going to be. Is Jose Acosta now going to be battling with Chris Johnson. Acosta, remember, he spun out, but now he has already got back up and now going to go just a little bit wide. That's going to cause him a couple positions. Is now even Robert Pattengale is going to slide by him.
Yeah, Acosta's been showing a lot of pace here tonight, but one thing about it that you always have to have at a track like this, you could hot lap and be quick and get a good qualifying effort and all that stuff like that, but you have to be consistent. You have to continue to turn those laps, without fail. And if you mess up one lap, that's enough to make all the work that you just put in literally null and void.
Yeah, you definitely got to be consistent. Consistency is going to be the key. That's going to be the key ingredient, even if you want to be successful here tonight. The one person though who has been consistent, that has been Chris Rivera. He has literally led every turn, every lap since the green flag has flown here originally so far here tonight, Brian.
Still, chances for him to make a mistake even on pit road are, is a potential pitfall that he could fall into. As I do believe we are on the white flag here for the stage. Chris Rivera taking the last set of corners here, as we're going to wait on everybody else to be able to get their way in. But it looks like Chris Rivera, by a long shot, going to take the stage 2 win. The fans are on their feet. Their favorite driver looks like he is just hamming it up right now.
Like shooting fish in a barrel. But as we've seen in the past, though, Chris Rivera has been his own Achilles heel for most of the time. So maybe the best shot that some of these drivers are going to have is maybe if Chris Rivera actually does get in his own way, kind of, and maybe that will change the outcome of things maybe a little bit.
It definitely could here. Still, a little bit of battling going on here while we wait for the yellow flag. You see Kendall LeBron, he's right there on Chris Johnson. Robert Pattengale still has to deal with Jose Acosta, so that caution could not come quick enough for Robert Pattengale right now. As you see, Jose Acosta gets really close to the back end here. And there is the caution that will conclude stage 2. Right now, Chris Rivera going to find himself as the stage 2 victor. Chris Johnson, 2nd place. Kendall LeBron in 3rd. Robert Pattengale, 4th. Jose Acosta, 5th. Kenny Powell, 6th place. Frank Flores, 7th. Ryan Strunk, 8th. And Paul Olson rounding out our 9-car field here tonight. This is when the race truly begins. This is when we're going to be seeing what these guys are truly made of. But you know what? We already talked to Chris Rivera. Who else can we talk to, Big Al?
Man, you can talk to anybody you want to talk to. Who you want to talk to, that's a better question.
I want to talk to you.
You talk to me all the time. Who you want
Let's
to talk to?
Let's talk to Mr. Chris Johnson. How about that?
We always talk to Chris Johnson.
Oh, man.
Talk to somebody,
Let's talk to Pattengale. He's been the one that he's been going back and forth. I bet he's got some good stories to tell.
All right, I'll tell you what. After Mr. Pattengale gets himself some Petro, I'll drag him on up to the booth.
All righty. If you're just joining us, the yellow flag is out as stage 2 has been completed. Of course, at the road courses, caution laps do not count. As we've said earlier, if you're just joining us, 25 laps is the fuel window. From here, these guys will be able to make it if they fuel up. So we will not probably see any green flag pit stops unless it is an unscheduled one based on damage, which I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of damage being paid out there on the racetrack, which is quite surprising.
Yeah, we had a couple good drivers maybe swap a little bit of paint, but nothing significant. So far, everything has been pretty clean. As we still got drivers trying to make their way to catch up to the field here. Now, this is where it's going to start to matter, Brian. It's going to matter about how quick you get down to pit road. I mean, how do you get? You got to hit your box square. You cannot afford to miss a line. You know, you got to be in, you got to be out. That's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way you're going to advance.
Yeah, well, I would assume that a lot of these guys that just took tires probably not going to be doing it this time around. We'll have to wait and see, though. Maybe they didn't get that memo from Thursday. You would think so. Jose Acosta should know.
Well, you know, and sometimes drivers just might accidentally forget to uncheck that block. But hopefully everybody did do that this time, because that would definitely be a costly mistake if you were to go down on pit road and actually try to take tires. Because these cars are actually performing a lot better once these tires get heated up and once you get some laps on them.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely seems like that's the case, and it seems like that's pretty normal here. Not just at Indianapolis Road. At a lot of the road courses, it seems like that's the case. Tires don't seem to matter quite as much, which is that's pretty normal from what we see. And maybe some other series. But I mean, the next gen seems like that's kind of maybe even taking it from those other series. I mean, just like you've said plenty of times before, the road. This is kind of a road course car. I mean, it kind of built this with that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is the reason why, because these tires, they do wear so much evenly on the road course. As the field is now coming down the pit road, everybody is going to be a taker here. We'll be looking to see how many guys are just taking fuel. Also, making sure everybody is getting into their box squarely, because you got to be squared away when you come in. We've seen so many drivers lose this race on pit road. Now, the reason why it's such a big deal is track position on this track. That's what's key.
I mean, we saw earlier, even with Kenny Powell fighting with Ryan Strunk. I mean, they were fighting lap after lap after lap, and Kenny could not get by him. So I mean, that just shows you how important track position truly is.
Yeah, it looks like Chris Johnson's going to be the first one in his stall. Kendall LeBron in, Jose Acosta in, Chris Rivera in.
Kendall LeBron taking tires.
Looks like LeBron. Oh, also Ryan Strunk taking tires. Also Kenny Powell taking tires.
You see, Chris Rivera did not take tires. Jose Acosta did not take tires. I think he learned his lesson that time around. Looks like Frank Flores is going to gain a lot of positions based on that.
Yeah, looks like Robert Pattingill for 4 good years as well.
Very interesting decision here. I don't know why they would have taken tires here, but I mean, they know better than us. That's why we're up here in the booth and not down there on the racing surface.
And speaking of that, Chris Johnson was actually the first one in his pit stall, and I think he is actually still on pit road.
What? Well, that is definitely an interesting story here. Let's go ahead and dial up Mr. Pattingale and have a conversation with him. Like I said, I think he's got some really good stories to tell. Maybe he can even highlight why he took tires.
Yeah, Mr. Pattingale sitting in the booth. You got it, Brian.
Hello, Mr. Robert Pattingale. How are you doing this evening, my friend?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing fine. Definitely been some exciting racing. We've seen you go go up and down the field a little bit, let guys go, and then they make a mistake, and you get right back by them. I mean, can you tell us about what your thought process is here? I mean, it seems like you're just trying to survive while everybody else is racing hard.
That's my goal, right? Keep it clean, keep it smooth. You might be just a little bit slower, but in the end, they are going to make some mistakes, right? Just limit yours. I did get hit, on the very first lap, but it was, hit in the back, so that wasn't too bad. And then, that this is the way this usually goes, is the person who makes the least mistakes moves up the chain.
That is definitely seems to be the way it works here. We saw you took tires there. We saw a lot of guys take tires on Thursday. Didn't really see anybody taking tires. What was your thought process on taking tires there?
You just hate to leave all those tires sitting there doing nothing, right?
I almost feel like it would be at a detriment though taking those tires, just considering how much it takes to get them up to temperature.
Yeah, there's that thought process. We didn't take him on that first stage, but I did definitely take him here because I just thought, 20 plus laps, it might be nice to have fresh ones, for the long stretch.
Well, we'll have to see how that plays out for you, man. We definitely appreciate you hopping up here in the booth with us. Can we get a quick shout out from you before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Tucson Sound Art, and then Kenny in the league, man. It's always fun to have. Wish we had a few more people racing, but you know what? We get what we get.
All right, man. Well, we definitely look forward to seeing what you can pull out here. Hopefully, we might be able to talk to you later if you get a podium and everybody else, like you says, makes a mistake. We'll have to wait and see as Jose and Costa taking a trip back down pit road. Thanks for your time, though, Robert. That was Robert Pattengale, the 17 machine. Definitely an important person, just considering, one of our, kind of helps out with the sponsor with Tucson Sound Art. So definitely an important individual. I think if you even look at that car, you probably see some Tucson Sound Art stuff on that car. And what an interesting product that is. Also, definitely something for the, your living room or any room, really. I mean, if you have any kind of pictures that are sentimental value, you can add a little bit of music to it to kind of even make the experience even more, valuable to you.
Yeah, it was interesting that Jose Acosta did actually go back down pit road. Not sure what that was actually about. Drivers definitely having more than enough petrol in order to make it through the end of this thing. But if Jose can drive through the field like we know he is capable of, then maybe we'll actually be able to ask him that question at the end of this thing, Brian.
Now, when he went back down pit road, I'm curious, did he take tires? Or did he just grab a little bit more fuel? I'm wondering. Pace car lights are out. We're going to be getting back green here shortly. For the final time, we're going to be having a restart here.
Yep, this will be the last time. We will double them up here tonight. Chris Rivera definitely going to be leading the field here again. Going to wait and see if he actually does get one of those stage one starts, I guess we'll call it, or if he actually is going to wait this time until everybody catches up.
No, I don't know. The way he seems like he's been going about it, he just drives off. And I'm not seeing someone out there, Big Al. I don't know if you can confirm that. Where's Chris Johnson?
Yep.
We saw him take that pit stop. Was one of the first guys in his box. Looks like he is still on pit road, I do believe. Or is he catching up?
Yeah.
Is he still on the track?
Nope, looks like Mr. Johnson has stepped out of his vehicle for the remainder of the evening.
That is unfortunate. He definitely had himself a nice second place, probably waiting for him. Unfortunate. But here we go. Pace car going to be heading down pit road. Field going to be once again in the hands of Chris Rivera. Let's see how early he goes this time around. I think Kendall LeVron a little bit more wise to what's going on here as he gets really close to that back bumper. There goes Rivera.
There he goes.
Waited a little bit longer this time, but he definitely got a good jump.
Yeah, definitely. Frank Flores was trying to anticipate the start, but I think he kind of got caught out in the lag a little bit there on the outside. But now Rivera is running on down to one. Everybody doing exactly what they need.
Kendall LeVron off the track. Comes back on, though.
Chris Rivera just continues to pull away, but the rest of the field is definitely running one behind another in a single file. Oh, Kenny Powell looks like he is off the pace.
Oh!
I think that might definitely cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, it looks like he was turned the wrong way around. I'm wondering if he maybe had some contact with somebody there. Didn't really get a good eyes on it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that is probably going to cost him at least a little bit of time on pit road. We'll be probably taking a keeping an eye on Kenny Powell, seeing how he fares for his luck right there.
Unfortunate. Almost even some
Oh, looks like
contact
there
at
was
Jose
almost
Acosta.
contact.
Jose Acosta, I do believe Ryan Strunk almost getting together there. Is Strunk trying to hold him off.
Yeah, these two definitely no stranger to controversy with each other, as they have been kind of beating and banging on each other for a long time here this evening. But hey, that's what we need, though. We need that kind of excitement, that type of racing here. It gives us something to talk about.
That it does, as Jose Acosta still trying to get past here. But Acosta, he's been suffering himself from a lot of handling woes, getting very loose on these corners. And this is not going to help him out any, because, I mean, the more he tries to chase that carrot, the more likely he's going to probably make a mistake.
Well, he's definitely setting him up, and he's being more like a gnat right now because he is just right there on the back of the 77. And Strunk has actually made a couple of missteps here earlier this evening, too. So if Acosta just keeps applying that pressure, he's just waiting on Strunk to make a mistake so he can just drive right by him. And I think that's exactly what his strategy is right now. Just kind of keep right there, keep steady pressure on him, and we'll see what happens.
That we will, as the 42 definitely doing exactly that. But one thing, there goes Kendall LeBron back in the grass again. He comes back onto the track, almost gets into Frank Flores, but luckily Flores is able to make the pass back, or to get around Kendall LeBron. So I think we saw Kendall also take tires, so no wonder.
Frank Flores himself just ended up over in the grass. He's going to lose a ton of positions.
And I think a lot of this, we saw a lot of guys just take tires. And that is kind of contact. Ryan Strunk and Kendall LeBron, they are battling hard. Bumpers are being traded.
Yeah, and what is happening is Robert Pattengill's just sitting back watching this go down, saying, yep, he's just going to stay clean as we're down halfway through this thing. And you've seen just a couple positions actually change place, but now these two are battling side by side. And Jose Acosta, usually liking to be on the inside, now is going to be on the outside. And we're going to see if he breaks late or if he breaks early.
Looks like he's going to wait until the last second here to break to try to slide in front of Kendall LeBron, but he misses his breaking point, but still somehow is able to continue to put it on Kendall LeBron. Looks like he's able to get past him. Ryan Strunk now trying to work here on that Team Watson race car. Oh, and Ryan Strunk gets really close to the back of the 28. That was very close.
And these guys are definitely battling like it's the last lap. Who would have thought that we would have had such exciting racing coming on here this evening, Brian? But these guys have never, ever failed they never disappoint.
You got to love it, though. Every time you see these guys entering one of these slower corners, you see just the brake lights, the rotors just light up. So definitely a lot of brake heat probably bleeding over into some of these tires, which could lead to some of these handling woes.
Yeah, but you know who's not experiencing any handling woes? That's Chris Severus. He is now got his lead up to almost 13 and a half seconds over second place Jose Acosta. And yeah, way to go, Jose, because he was definitely battling a little bit early on, but I think now he has found his rhythm, and seems to be doing pretty good up there in P2.
That he is. He's looking like he's gotten that rhythm down. Oh, wow. What a save from Jose Acosta just now. Out of turn, I do believe that was 12. He just got really incredibly loose, but able to keep that thing under control and pointed the right direction.
Yeah, that's one of the things we say with such a smaller field. We're definitely everybody's going to be under more of a microscope. But look at how Pattengill is just stuck up right behind Ryan Strunk. He's just been holding his own right there, holding on to fifth place. Nobody's paying him any attention. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he might even find himself up on the podium, Brian.
I would not be surprised. that definitely could happen here with the way these guys are racing. They're racing each other very, very hard right now. Definitely big shout out to Kenny Powell. We know we saw him have a big mistake, went around the wrong way, did a full 360. Still out on the track because you never know what can still happen. You don't want to give up, that's for sure.
Yeah, Powell definitely been a little bit out of sorts a couple of times today, but I was kind of hoping that he would have had a better showing than this, but, you just got to take what you get, and hopefully he'll still try to turn a positive out of it and try to, gain better than a P8, but looks like we are sitting here with 19 laps to go in this thing, and wow, it has been quite the contest.
Oh, Pattengill makes a huge mistake. That's going to give a position to Frank Flores. As Pattingale misses the corner there, breaks a little too late, and goes into the grass.
Indy giveth, Indy taketh away.
That he does. Yeah, unfortunate. I know Kenny Powell, looking at the the Cup Series standings, really really close to being able to take that points lead. But unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to help him out too much. No matter where he finishes at here tonight, though, he still will be able to gain a little bit of points and get a little bit closer to the points lead. But still going to be, going to be. I would think he'd want to finish a little bit better. But Robert Pattingale is really struggling right now, and I wonder. I mean, I kind of was hinting at it a little bit. These guys taking tires. It just does not seem like that was the call to make. I mean, I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. Usually, when you're on a road course, you're like, man, tires are going to be probably screaming at me later, but it does not seem to be the case here in this next gen.
Well, he had to make a decision, so you can't really fault the man for choosing what he did. It's just not really working out for him. But once those tires do get heated up, he should be able to get back underway. Right now, I think he's just out of rhythm a little bit, but Ryan Strunk has definitely found his pace, though, as now he is slowly trying to get back up to LeBron. But remember, he was battling Jose Acosta earlier, but Jose is long since gone, just floating on there about the P2 by himself.
Yeah, and Chris Severa continuing to pull away. He's now almost a little bit over 18 seconds away from second place right now. Jose Acosta, I do believe, has about a little bit over 2 seconds on Kendall LeBron. But definitely looks like some fighting probably going to be happening here shortly.
Fighting? What kind of fighting?
Well, we've already seen some fighting here tonight. That's for sure. We've seen some guys trading bumpers and doors.
Yeah, that's a very true statement.
They're trading them like Pokemon cards.
Well, fuck, everybody's just kind of settling on into their own race of rhythm right now.
That they are. I do believe next time by we're going to be having 15 laps to go. No, actually 16 laps to go. My apologies there. Kendall LeBron doing pretty good here. He's starting to catch up a little bit here to Jose Acosta. Definitely going to be the battle here for the podium. I think anybody, if I was on the podium at all, I would just be like, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm going to try to keep it. That's all I can do. I mean, try to not make a mistake. And that is easier said than done. I mean, this is a track that very, very difficult in the road course. A lot of guys, even if you like road courses, some guys don't even, like this track just, because it is a little bit more difficult. We talked about it being flat. I mean, Chris said it best. Chris Severa, very funny statement he made in his interview. Definitely probably true.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely not this track has no banking whatsoever. It's as flat as a pool table, so.
Very much so. I mean, and you see the oval portions, are clearly visible on the racetrack, and you can see those definitely have some banking, but they're not using that, of course. And what's really interesting about this track too, there's a golf course with I do believe 9 or so holes on the inside, and then 9 on the outside. Kind of an interesting thing to see at a track like this. At definitely a multifaceted facility, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Also, it's interesting to note that these drivers are kind of going around this track backwards.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Got to be something that throws these guys off a little bit here. Robert Pattingale, though, seems like he's gotten it back underneath him. He's starting to catch back up here to Frank Flores. Flores locking the tires up there. He's able to keep that thing pointed in the right direction. That's definitely a key, something that could happen here. You could lock those tires up. I think that's why brake by is probably an important adjustment that these guys got to keep in their toolbox.
Yeah, also, you get to play with the size of the master cylinders as well. But, man, this car definitely is standing up to its potential. And I think the car itself makes this track fun to drive, even though it might not have been as fun to drive without this car. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't even think, I definitely didn't hear a lot of rave reviews. Maybe when the actual the Gen 6 was here. Definitely seems like it's a lot more fun to drive here in this car. Definitely, probably the independent suspension and all that lending to that. I mean, definitely seems like this car is almost like an IMSA car in a lot of ways, especially now that they're in sequential, have a sequential gearbox.
Well, NASCAR had to answer a call. I mean, they had to basically come up with a car that was going to appeal to more what you see today. And the old straight axle car of yesterday definitely wasn't cutting it. So now it looks like Ryan Strunk has definitely caught up to the back of Kendall LeBron, and he is going to be battling him for third place as we are 14 to go. This battle definitely going to heat up here.
Oh, it is heating up right now as Kendall LeBron takes the corner very shallow.
And that's all that Ryan Strunk needed. Now he's going to find himself up in third place.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Kendall LeBron was feeling the pressure of Strunk and kind of folded there, unfortunately. I mean, going into that corner there, he took it way too shallow. You cannot do that at a road course. You have to have a proper apex, otherwise you're going to lock those tires up or worse. I do believe I see in the background there, I think I see Robert Pattingill and Frank Flores fighting it out.
Yeah, those two are actually teammates there, so I think they're just going to be trying to be as competitive as they can to each other to kind of keep each other on the pace. But Jose Acosta is definitely getting more comfortable with the lead that he has now, as looks like he's pretty much got second place secured. Now we'll just be watching to see if he makes any mistakes.
And he's already made quite a few mistakes here tonight so far. But hopefully he's got those out of his system. Otherwise, we could see that running order change quite a bit. But, I mean, it looks like, he's definitely got it in hand. Second place for him. I mean, going to be definitely a good finish, good showing from him. I mean, I know hasn't been necessarily having the best runs on that Thursday, night series. But looks like, this is definitely his home on the Saturdays. He's been doing very well.
Yeah, I think that was just supposed to be a one-time thing that turned into a two-time thing. But, yeah, Jose.
Hopefully it's more times.
Yeah, Jose is definitely doing pretty good here tonight, man. And fortunately for him, when he did make mistakes early on, he was actually able to correct his car and not even lose a lot of positions. So that's another thing I think that's been key. And plus, he's got the second fastest lap time to just Chris Severa here put up here on the board tonight.
Well, that's definitely very impressive. And, one good thing about having a smaller field, you have a little bit, I wouldn't say room for error, but in the stages, you definitely have a little bit more room for error. You don't have to restart. If you were here on Thursday and you made some of the mistakes we've seen from Jose Acosta, you'd be starting back in last. And, you don't want to have to do that. And, 28-car field, luckily tonight, didn't really have to have that issue. As he sits pretty in second right now.
Yeah, we still got a lot of racing left to do, and this track will slip up and bite you just as soon as you get comfortable. I think I've turned quite a few laps here this week. Didn't think I was going to like this track as much as I did, but once you get in there, it just kind of, I don't know, it's almost like playing a song, I guess you'd say, but it's definitely a song that Chris Severa seems to have mastered here this evening. No one has even been remotely even close to his pace.
He's definitely playing a beautiful masterpiece right now. He definitely knows all the chords. Pattingill locks it up, looks like there.
Yeah, well, Kendall LeBron, his woes continue as right before Robert Pattingill, he himself actually slid off into the grass, allowing Ryan Strunk just to slip a little bit further away from him.
And it does look like everybody pretty much has essentially now starting to spread out here. Quite a bit of gaps in between all of these guys here. More than a second. As Chris Severa now has over 25 seconds on the field. Luckily, everybody is still on the lead lap except for, of course, Chris Johnson. Kenny Powell could find himself going a lap down here as he is, I do believe, 55 seconds back from the leader. Well, it looks like Kenny Powell actually just made the pass on Paul Olson. So he's going to move himself up to 7th place.
Yeah, Olsen definitely had been struggling a little bit on this track. I mean, not looking like he was very comfortable. I'm surprised that Ryan Strunk is actually running as well as he was, because he definitely was struggling a little bit in practice. But I think he was just fooling with us a little bit, is all. Because he's definitely got that 77 lined up now, and he's showing tremendous pace. So
He is very much so, showing a lot of pace right now, looking really strong. Looks like he has definitely found a nice home here at Indianapolis. Seems like he's got a lot of talent here at this track. Definitely looking forward to Michigan, though. That's going to be a good one. I actually had a little bit of insight there, what to expect at that track from a lot of drivers I've talked to that have been doing a lot of testing to try to get their cars, ready for that. I will tell you one thing we're going to see that we have not seen here tonight: tire wear.
Oh, really? Do tell. Explain that. Elaborate, please.
Well, it seems like from what I've heard, tire wear is going to be a huge deal. We're probably going to see the right fronts on those race cars losing a lot of wear, and probably going to see a ton of fall off and a lot of loose conditions. So would not be surprised to see definitely some short runs and then probably some guys getting loose.
Yeah, well, are we going to be able to hold it down wide open for at least 3 or 4 laps?
I would assume so, but it might. Yeah, I definitely think you will be able to. But it seems like the strategy probably next week is going to be all about maybe maybe saving a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah, looks like Paul Ocean is down on pit road. We are 10 to go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, interesting. Paul Olson, I think maybe throwing the towel in here.
Only time will tell. I did see that he kind of blew the turn down there, and I don't know if that might have been a stop and hold penalty.
Chris Severa still out there, though, right now, as he has almost 30 seconds now of a lead. As you mentioned, 10 laps to go. And definitely probably going to fly right on by here, as Chris Severa has just been doing nothing but perfect here, putting on a masterclass with his performance so far. And one thing about it, still time for a mistake. This is a track, 41 laps does not sound like a lot, and it isn't. It really isn't at a track like this, but still, the amount of focus that you have to put in at a road course. I mean, like, left and rights, always having to be on your toes. This is not a track where you have any time to even relax in the slightest.
Yeah, definitely. You can still have fun, though. I think that's one thing that I like to say. But just like that, though, Kendall LeBron has actually reeled back into 77, and he is going to be trying to definitely pester him and pressure him for his shot at a step on the podium.
Yeah, they're all fighting to get up here and talk with me and Big Al. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely fighting for that last spot. That's for definitely sure.
I mean, definitely. I mean, a podium in my, especially in a league like this, a series like this that has such, talented drivers. I would fight to try to get that podium, because I mean, it's not something that comes, along often. That's for sure. Just considering the guys you got to fight against to try to get that podium.
Yeah, they're definitely not giving it away, bud.
Definitely not. They don't have any 2-for-1 coupons for podiums. They're not giving them away like, like Wendy's Frosties. You get a coupon, you get a free Wendy's Frosty. But I want to give another big shout out to Tucson Sound Art. Appreciate them coming on board as the title sponsor for the series here. Also, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Definitely some of these guys after this one probably going to need some O'Reilly Auto Parts. Haven't seen a lot of damage being paid out, but I'm sure that, just a normal wear and tear. I'm sure they're probably going to need to go get some more brake rotors after you see how these things glow out there. Looking like neon out there, Big Al.
Yeah, definitely. That is definitely the case. But Ryan Strunk doing everything that he needs to do to keep Kendall LeBron at bay. Chris Barrett. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say that as this race goes on, I mean, we saw a little bit of frustrations and maybe some tempers flaring a little bit earlier. I mean, that's something that we're going to see increase as this thing goes on. So I mean, could we even see Kendall get up to Ryan Strunk and just be done with it, and maybe even throw a bumper?
Well, we say it's one thing that catch me is something totally different to pass me. And so one of the best opportunities that he will be able to pass is going into turn one. That's one of those turns where you actually will have the ability to kind of drive it in a little bit deeper. But right now, I think everybody's just kind of comfortable with the status quo. If he does catch him, he's just going to stay back there and put a little bit of pressure on him, and just hopefully wait on him to make a mistake.
No, I think that's exactly what I would do for sure. If I was in Kendall LeBron's shoes, I would be putting pressure on Ryan Strunk into turn one. I don't know if I would dive it in on him into turn one. I think I would just try to make sure I'm right there behind him, because it seems like the best passing scenario is if you're able to get the run off of turn two. If you kind of slow it down, push that guy. If Strunk's going into turn one a little too hot because you're right there on him, push him to maybe slide up the track or something like that, and you make that pass like that. That would be my way to do it. We're going to probably see maybe exactly that. We'll have to wait and see. All bets are off here as the battle is on for the third place position.
And still, we got just enough laps left that they could act, and there it is.
There it is.
Truck is off into the grass, and that's the same turn that Kendall LeBron had so many problems with himself earlier on. We even saw Jose Acosta having problems with that same turn as well. So I don't think that's going to be the last time we see that ankle biter actually cause a car to bobble like that. But that just shows you, man, still got a lot of racing left here, even though it's only 7 laps to go.
Yeah, the time is flying right on by here. Definitely has been what a fantastic race it has been thus far here tonight. These guys definitely have not disappointed, as we've seen a myriad of guys having some issues, and also we've seen some guys not having too many issues, especially Chris Severa has just been taking care of business here. Paul Olson, a little bit of an update on that. He is now 4 laps down, so I do believe he is out of the race car.
Yeah, that is affirmative. Paul Olson is out of the race car. So that leaves us 7 drivers left in this contest, and we have 6 laps to go.
Kenny Powell going to probably be going a lap down here shortly. Hopefully he'll be able to stay on the lead lap. I do believe he's got about I think he's about 1 minute, 11 seconds back from Chris Severa right now. Of course, Chris Severa, I do believe, probably turning what kind of lap times? Oh, Kenny Powell blows through that corner right into the grass. He is just having a lot of issues here.
Yeah, Kenny's woes continue. Ryan Strunk now definitely having to let it all hang out a little bit more, because usually I think go time is about 3 to go, but with 6 to go, I think he is starting to feel a little bit more panic. So he's definitely got to close that gap if he's going to want to get any shot at being in third place, because right now Kendall LeBron is actually starting to pull away just ever so slightly.
And we also see Frank Flores back here with Robert Pattengale, kind of a fight kind of coming to fruition here, as I do believe that is the battle for 5th and 6th.
And we have 5 laps to go.
And we see Chris Severa. He is coming really close up to the back here of Kenny Powell. Going to be the first man probably to go a lap down the natural way here.
And that's probably going to make Chris Severa even that much more driven.
Yeah, some company, because he hasn't had any company pretty much all race long. He's like, hey, Kenny.
Well, I think he's going to want to at least put one person down, and who better than put a lap down besides your old G&G teammate?
Yeah, I'm sure Kenny Powell does not feel the same way.
Yeah, Powell's had a hard night here tonight. He looks like he is him and his car is like they've been fighting Mike Tyson, but instead Chris Severa's just kind of been courting Cinderella. So two totally different stories between those two drivers on this very same racetrack, Brian.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely two sides of the story here. Two different stories here. Two different fairy tales. I do believe for sure as Chris Severa catches up to the back here. Going to be tasting the first time, I do believe, dirty air, which is going to be could be something that changes things for him. Curious if Kenny Powell's just going to let him go. I don't believe so. I think Kenny's probably so frustrated right now.
There'll be plenty of room to pass just coming up and around the turn. As Kendall LeBron is now slowly starting to pull away, put distance between himself and Ryan Strunk.
And I love that, what we're seeing from Chris Severa. You see how he goes way up on the other side of the track completely from Kenny Powell. And a lot of times what they do that because they don't want that side draft to be affecting their race cars. They try to put as much distance between each other. That way there's no really turbulent air.
Oh, there's going to be some side drafting next week.
Yeah, there's going to be no two ways about it. No way to avoid it. And I think that clean air is going to be probably the key factor there at Michigan next week when we get there.
Entire management as well. I mean, you said it best, tire wear, and it's always been the case at Michigan, because if you do elect to go out there and kind of run it wide open, then you're not going to be able to last as long. So I think you're going to have to go at it with a little bit more of the idea that you want to be in for the long haul, as the 77 of Ryan Strunk there just gets a little bit out of sorts. That's just going to allow Kendall LeBron to pull it just a little bit further away.
Yeah, Strunk had been making a lot of progress there to try to catch up to Kendall LeBron, but unfortunately that has all been just undone here, as I do believe just a handful of seconds here separate these two. If Kendall LeBron, still has the opportunity to make a mistake here, and we could see a different podium finisher here, but I'm sure Kendall going to be trying to mind his P's and Q's here. You can see the finish line. Oh, Ryan Strunk once again getting out of sorts. And reason I think that he just got a little bit loose there is, that curbing. Really not, it's not really like a turtle curb, but it is, you can drive on that, but there's not a lot of contact patch on that part of the track. It's hard to grip that, especially when it's painted like that.
Yep, 3 laps to go here, bud. And, they made a lot of provisions and changes to this track, because if you remember last year, this was the track that kind of tore up a couple of guys' cars. So the new scan definitely made it a lot easier for iRacing, as well as the real guys. I believe there's going to be a lot different too. Just excited to see how it all plays out tomorrow.
Yeah, very much so. I think, what you're referring to is when the track actually came up whenever they were running over it, and it definitely wrecked a lot of cars. Just over, repeated those guys attacking the curbs, kind of pulled the curb up. So hopefully they definitely don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Ryan Strunk still trying to do everything that he can, because he's got one more shot, I do believe, at catching Kendall LeBron. But he's running out of time, because it's almost time to put this one in the books.
Very much is. 2 laps remaining here. White flag is going to be the next time by.
Chris Severa with almost a full second lead over P2 Jose Acosta.
Almost a full minute, I think you mean.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said a second.
Oh, yeah, a full minute.
I say, if he had just a full second, I think Jose would be right there on him. But that is incredible, though. Almost a full minute that Chris Severa has here. I think if we extended this race by 5 more laps, he would put everybody a lap down. Final lap, white flag is in the air. And you can just see how much of a gap he has on these guys, just considering, the white flag's out, and these guys are in the middle of the track right now. So it's gonna take a while. Chris Rivera's gonna hit the checkered flag, and everybody's gonna be still racing.
Now he's just got to be careful that he doesn't start his pre-race celebrations too prematurely. Just don't want him to get disqualified or anything.
Definitely don't want that to happen. That's for sure.
Got to play by iRacing's rules.
100%. See Jose Acosta right there. He's sitting in second place. He's been making a little bit of mistakes there. Seen him kind of touch the grass a little bit there, but I think if he just keeps it together, he's going to be just fine.
Ooh, and just to add insult to injury, Ryan Strunk tags the wall just one last time.
And that's something we haven't seen. Oh, there goes Frank Flores. He's in the middle of the track. Chris Rivera's coming up on him as he's going to be trying to take the checkered flag. Looks like he's going to make it, though, without Frank Flores going a lap down. That was close. Chris Rivera, your winner here for the O'Reilly Parts 106. As he gives us a wiggle there, a wave to the crowd here as he wins the race. Dominating fashion, led every single lap.
Yeah, from the green flag to the checker.
I mean, he's got a green car, so I guess it makes sense. He's definitely going to be rolling in the green tonight after all the points he's going to get here tonight, and that's going to make his 8th win of the Super Cup season. Isn't that something, Big Al?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, but not like anybody was counting. This dude is really just dominating this entire Saturday night series. Would love to see how he would actually do on one of those Thursday night races. We got to do everything we can to kind of get him to make. Oh, and just like that, the 77 takes out the 28.
Oh no!
Ryan Strunk definitely doing everything he could to get himself up on the podium. Not sure what just took place there. You might want to look at that one again.
Definitely, Ryan Strunk able to take that spot because of that? It looks like he was third place. Kendall LeVron looking like that. Look, he stops right in front of Strunk to try to show his displeasure. I do believe we got a little bit of tempers flaring out here.
I don't think it's over just yet. I think we're going to get to experience this new damage model.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the worst damage we're going to see here all night. We haven't seen a lot of it. Yeah, I don't think this is over here. You see Kendall LeVron stalking the 77.
Yeah, I think now he thoughts better of it. And now he has thought better of it. It's kind of cooled down. With that done, let's go ahead and take a brief step away, get another word from our sponsors, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with our post-race show.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a great race here this evening. Chris Severa going to take home the win. Jose Acosta, second place. Ryan Strunk, after a little bit of a controversial third. Robert Pattengale, I do believe, going to be finishing in fourth place. Fifth place, Frank Flores. Sixth place, Kendall LeVron. Seventh place, Kenny Powell. Eighth place, Paul Olson. And ninth place, Chris Johnson. Of course, I do believe we are joined in the booth by our podium positions. Do we have Ryan Strunk there, Big Al?
Yes, sir.
Ryan Strunk, a little bit of a controversial third place finish there. Could you walk us through what just happened there on the racetrack?
Yeah, I thought that Kendall was running away with it, but then we were reeling him in there, and going into those last couple turns, I got a run on him. I don't even know the numbers coming out of that one turn, and yeah, he kind of swiped my nose, and I was trying to hold it down low, and we just made contact. You hate to finish like that, you know? Like I don't want to take these guys out, and I really appreciate Kendall racing me clean all race, and I definitely owe him one there, and not trying to race like that. So
Well, yeah, I definitely don't suspect that it was on purpose. You had a lot of speed out here tonight too. I mean, I know you probably we saw you have a problem there going into the grass and stuff like that. To enlighten us a little bit on the difficulty of this racetrack.
these corners are so deceptive. I mean, like when the track's flat like it is, it's really hard to read the corners. So I was able to, do a bunch of messing up in practice, and probably spent more time on the grass than the asphalt. But throughout the first two stages, man, I was just hit my marks, focused on trying to just stay on track, and that equated to speed. Just slow down and go faster, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, I think that we heard that a lot on Thursday. Derek Heitman, I do believe our winner, essentially said exactly that. Just go slow to go fast, and that seems to be the kind of the key to this track. But I mean, you definitely still took care of business. Was able to get a third place, and you weren't slow by any margin. For sure. I mean, you were battling with Kenny Powell a lot. Kendall LeVron. I mean, you were battling with about everybody out there, and we were able to recover even after your mistakes to finish on the podium. How are you feeling? I know going to be much different track. I know tire wear didn't seem to matter here very much tonight. But Michigan next week, I think that's going to be a whole different story. How you feeling about that?
These cars at Michigan are, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna call it Michigan International Speedway or Michigan Super Speedway with these cars. I guess we'll find out. But really excited for that. Tell you what, I've had a couple. Man, we've been knocking on the door, but just luck hasn't gone that way. So to get a podium here is pretty crazy, because I would not consider myself a road course driver. Just want to apologize to Kendall again. I hate, just don't want to take a spot like that, you know.
Yeah, I definitely understood that. I'm sure that cooler heads will prevail there for sure. I mean, I'd probably have to go back and look at the replay. Just good hard racing. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Well, we definitely can't wait to see what you bring to us at Michigan for sure. Man, who can we shout out after your third place finish?
Got to give a shout out to my FSMI racing crew, Kathy Maloney at Guaranteed Rates. Man, they really came aboard so we could go to these setup shops and get good setups heading into these races. So gotta thank them for sure, and everyone in this league. I mean, without you guys, there isn't a league to racing. So can't thank Kenny Powell and the whole ISCA group enough, and you guys up in the booth.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, man, and look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for your time there, Ryan.
Absolutely. Hopefully, we'll be talking on the podium or in victory lane here.
We definitely look forward to seeing that. Definitely when you get that first win, that's when the door is all open. Well, thanks for your time. That is Ryan Strunk, our third place finisher here tonight. Next up, Big Al's waiting here with Jose Acosta.
Hey, Jose, this is Big Al. You got me?
I copy.
Hey, so you were actually able to bring it home in second place, man. You had a pretty strong car all night. Looks like you were battling yourself a couple of times, though. I saw you kind of playing over there in the grass, and then you elected to take tires too during the stage break. So overall, you're pretty impressed with your performance as well as your finish.
I mean, second place is not bad, obviously. But Chris Severa, I mean, obviously was dominating the track. I did change tires on the beginning. I know tire didn't matter that much, but I was like, you know what do I have to lose? Let me just change tire to see like maybe at the end, maybe the last 10 laps, I got some type of advantage. So that's why I changed tire in the first yellow. Um, but other than that, yeah, I did a couple mistake. That's the only thing that I really hate of me here in this track. I'm not really a road course racer. I still have a lot of practice to do. How to brake on the corners, and especially thing on the last yellow, I pitted again because I'm terrible saving gas on road courses. So I was like, you know what? Let me just fill it up. My calculator was telling me that I was really close. I'm like, let me just go in and just fill it up like that 0.2.
Yeah, we were wondering exactly what you were doing going down there, and yeah, you kind of summed it up. So
Yeah.
you're right. You probably Chris Severa though he definitely is the fuel miser. So not being comfortable, I totally understand that. But you were actually able to battle all the way back and go all the way back up to second place. No, you had a lot of trouble getting by Kendall LeBron. What was that like?
Uh, I, I mean, it was a cool battle right there. I mean, I'm guessing like we all kind of were messing up the turns at the same time all together, so that's why everything got a little bit close. But I managed like to navigate around and make sure I was ahead. I believe after I passed them all, I committed another mistake and they passed me again. So yeah, if you're talking about at the end or before the last yellow flag, I'm not sure where.
Yeah, towards
But,
the end there,
oh, towards the end, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you and the 28 were battling kind of tooth and nail there against each other. But so was the tire change? Did that actually prove to be beneficial or not?
I have no idea, man. I know cold tires in the very first lap. It caught me off guard. I don't know if you guys. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys saw it. I missed the first turn. I was all over the track, and then to the S's before the back straightaway. I lost it again. I was so frustrated. I'm like, oh my god, like cold tire caught me off guard. I don't. It didn't happen last Thursday. I guess there was more people in the field, so I was obviously. So here there was not a lot of people. There's obviously not a lot of people in the field, so I was kind of trying like to, I guess, to go a little bit faster, and that's why it caught me off guard.
Well, speaking of tires, next week we're getting ready to head into Michigan. So that is definitely going to be a track where tire conservation is going to be key. What are your thoughts and feelings going into that track next week?
I don't know, man. We seen what was it, Atlanta, and I don't know if it's gonna be similar. I mean, Michigan is actually bigger than Atlanta, whatever, more wider. But I'm not sure what to expect. I know at least on oval, I know how to save tire a little bit. I know how to save gas. So if it comes to that, I know I'm a lot more better than road courses. And I guess we about to find out, man. It's gonna be fun for sure.
Yeah, you got any early predictions for us?
No, man, I don't. And if it's like Atlanta or kind of like a super speedway type of track, you know how those are. I mean, you can't really predict anything till like the last lap right there at the end.
Well, I tell you what, you guys definitely proved that you had a hot rod here tonight. Definitely a car to beat. Coming home in second place, definitely can nothing to slouch about with that at all. Wishing you luck going into next week. Before we let you go, who you going to give a shout out to tonight?
Well, I would like to have a faster car than Chris, but there's no way anyway. But yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my team, Pandereta Racing Team, uh, to my John Deere sponsor, and also to my Facebook Team Puerto Rico Gaming. They also sponsor the car, so shout out to all them three.
Yeah, all right, awesome, and congratulations again, second place, especially on a road course. Only to Chris Severa is nothing to slouch at. How you planning on celebrating this evening? I'm gonna take a page out of Brian's playbook. What are you gonna do for celebration this evening?
I don't know if I'm gonna go to celebrate anything. I guess I gotta go to Chris Severa's party. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, Roger that, Jose. Thank you for your time, sir. Congratulations.
Hi.
That is Jose Acosta, our second place finisher here on the night. Next up, apparently Chris Severa having a party. Where's the invite at, Chris?
Yeah, man, we're all gonna be waking up nice and early, and we're gonna try and catch the F1 race. So, guess the party's at Hungary.
Heard that, man. Well, you definitely were taking care of business out there on the racetrack. I mean, you looked like you didn't make any mistakes at all. I mean, most of the battling was going on a little bit further back, so we didn't really get to cover you quite as much as we would like to. But, I mean, did you make any mistakes? Because it didn't seem like you did.
Yeah, I definitely had one like in the first time you go back up onto the oval, that tricky braking zone where you get down in the first gear. I messed that one up a couple times. But no, most of the time it was just like heads down and me just trying to really get as much as I could out of this track. I was really happy with it tonight. It was probably the best performance time wise compared to some more competitive guys out there. It's probably the closest gap that I've ever gotten at a track, and that probably is just because it's a brand new track. Not everyone has their grips on it yet, but no, I'm just really happy with the performance we did.
Yeah, you definitely should be, man. I mean, you put on a whole minute on everybody out there. I mean, if you had gave you another 5 laps, I think you probably would have put everybody a lap down. You did, put someone a lap down. Of course, probably not too happy about that, but luckily you were able to successfully navigate around and just made it look easy. I mean, we also saw you on the restarts. You went really really early. I was surprised that it was even legal.
Yeah, we'll call that a stage one restart.
Yeah, so we obviously, have to go on green on the first stage, and then just on the second and third stage, I just kind of wanted to go earlier just because I didn't want to mess up with my rhythm in the braking zone going into turn one, because obviously the later you start, like that's probably what threw off some guys at the initial start because they're not carrying as much speed. So you have to brake later in the one, and some people can just overshoot it. So I just didn't really want to risk that. I just wanted to hit a generally the same spot going into turn one. So that was just the whole reason behind that.
Well, it definitely seemed like it worked out for you, man. What's it going to take to talk you into racing on Thursday? I mean, you look like you might have had something for those boys on Thursday.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, difference with work schedules and stuff like that.
I'm about to
So
call your boss.
nothing really we can do about that.
I'm gonna
Yeah, good
call him.
luck.
I'm gonna call him and tell him, hey, we need you. We need Chris.
Yeah, you're dealing with government people. They're gonna send you to the next longest queue. It's like going to the DMV.
Be sitting there hearing some elevator music, man. Well, excellent work to you out there. Just seemed like you had everything, down pat. How were tires for you? Did you feel anything at all when it came to the later runs?
A lot more grip. With the tire, I don't know what it is. It's just you get the tire in a certain temperature range, and if you can focus on not overdriving into the corners and keeping it cool, I was braking later into the braking zones that I was in the beginning of the race. So it's just, I don't know if you can do that because of the lighter fuel load, or if it's just, I just don't think the tire model's all there on iRacing, but I was definitely on the backstretch braking zone able to brake in a lot later at the later end of the race than I was at the beginning.
That's definitely very interesting. It probably does have something to do with the fuel load. Definitely seemed like tires didn't make as much of a difference out there for sure. I know next week tires are going to matter a whole heck of a lot more. Definitely have a little bit of a inside track on how that's going to be. I mean, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of looseness once the tires give way. Right front wearing quite a bit. How are you feeling about Michigan? I know you've already kind of ran it. I do believe Auto Club earlier in the season. From what I've heard, it's going to be a lot like that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just going to be a battle for clean air out front. And really, if you can't get it after about 20 laps, then I don't really think there's going to be too much that you can do to pass other than just super saving on your tires, but clean air is just going to be the key factor there.
Well, we definitely look forward to seeing what it looks like. I know a lot of guys are thinking it's going to be like a super speedway, and I think for the first couple laps it will be. But we'll have to see how that progresses, man. But great job to you tonight, absolutely dominating it, leading it flag to flag, and this is your 8th win in the Tucson Sound Art Super Cup Series. How does that feel? I mean, you are. I think the next closest person's got 3 wins. I mean, you literally doubled the win count there, and you still have chances to even win even more.
Yeah, just trying to do all we can before the playoffs, man. All those bonus points are going to matter.
That's right, because all it takes is one race in the playoffs for things to go haywire. Well, we look forward to seeing what that's going to look like for you, and look forward to seeing you next week for sure. Who can we give a shout out to after your dominant performance here tonight?
Yeah, everyone at Gas and Go, Fanatec, Team Watson Racing, especially Kenny Coppola with this setup. This setup was fantastic on the long run. Stable, the turn in was good on it. Advanced Sim Racing, Apex Sim Racing, and NRG Innovations for all the equipment. And you guys, as always, like I said before, Tucson Sound Art, if it wasn't for them, wouldn't be able to run this on Saturday. You guys, as always, Brian and Al, really appreciate you guys.
Well, we definitely appreciate you too, man. Always keeping it interesting for us up here in the booth. Thanks for your time, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
That was Chris Severa, our winner here, stage 1, 2, and the big show, coming home with a trophy here tonight. He's probably going to be drowning some milk, I do believe. I think that's what they give you here at Indianapolis. But, man, what a race, Big Al. I mean, definitely kind of coming into this race, we saw, lighter numbers. Kind of made a little apprehension, but it turned out to be not disappointing at all. Definitely was fantastic. We saw battling essentially the whole way through, whether it was Frank Flores fighting with Robert Pattengale, or Ryan Strunk fighting with Kendall Levron. We saw Ryan Strunk even fighting with Kenny Powell. We saw all kinds of sort of things out here. Even some guys making some mistakes. What were your final thoughts here on the race?
Well, my final thoughts are they definitely did not disappoint. We got a lot of great road racing going on here tonight. I think it was a pretty good production, man. I think a lot of guys gained a lot of valuable points positions, and I think in the end of the season, that is definitely going to prove to be the most valuable thing, man. And yeah, just a good time. Excited to go on to Michigan, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I also am very excited for Michigan. I think that's going to be a very interesting race. We're going to see definitely a whole myriad of issues when it comes to the tire wear that we didn't see here tonight. Crazy to see. I definitely am becoming a believer here in the Indianapolis road course. Of course, I am favoring tradition and wanting to run the oval, of course, just because, I mean, that's how it's been for so many years. But I definitely do not oppose
Don't drink the
this
milk.
track.
Don't drink the milk. Don't drink the milk.
Uh-oh. Has it been sitting out too long?
No, instead of saying, they say, don't drink the Kool-Aid, don't drink the milk. Don't drink the milk. Yeah, it was a good track, though. I think it was really fun.
Yeah, very much was. I know you've had your experience here also. Can't wait to get racing at Michigan. I might actually try my hand at a couple races myself. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that brings us here to the conclusion. Make sure you tune in next Thursday. We'll be probably going live around 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The race will start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be the Butt Kicker Cup and Super Cup Series at Michigan. And, of course, also Saturday. Make sure you tune in there around the same time, same place. And look forward to seeing you all there. Thanks for watching, everybody.